Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Mary Goulet Show, cultivating a rich interior. Now, here's Mary.
Welcome to the program. Yes, here we talk about ways to enrich yourself from the inside out. And that can be done with faith, self-exploration of just knowing how you respond to events, people, etc. in life. And today, I have the pleasure of having a guest, Mary DeMuth. She is the author of The 7 Deadly Friendships, How to Heal When Painful Relationships Eat Away at Your Joy. Welcome, Mary.
Thanks for having me on, Mary. It's great to talk to you again.
I know. We met at the New Media Summit and shared lunch together, and it was really awesome. We have a lot of parallel beliefs and etc. in common.
And the first name.
Exactly. That's right. So let's give our listeners a little bit of a background, because you have a prolific writing history. I think you've written maybe 36 books?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yes, I've been writing a long time, and about 3 books a year for about 12 years.
Wow. So where do you get your inspiration?
Well, usually when I'm really angry about something, that ends up becoming a book. So if you see me on social media ranting about something, about a year later, you're going to pick up a book about that subject.
That's interesting. So give us a little bit more. I know that you have a couple of kids and you live in Texas?
Yes, I live in Texas. I've got 3 grown children and 1 grown husband, which is great, and 1 very weird dog. And we live in North Texas, and just recently became empty nesters, so it's been an interesting shift for us.
Maybe give you more time to write.
I hope so. I seem to be doing that a lot more. Just having a quiet house has been great.
I agree. My kids one is in college, but she still lives at home. She goes to a local school, and then my other daughter is in high school. And I've written 3 books, and I'm writing 2 more. So and definitely I want, especially with self-help books, nonfiction, it really has to be inspired. I mean, to me, writing is not a mental process. Editing, perhaps.
Yes.
But the writing down of the ideas and the table of contents and the subchapters and things like that, I imagine you just go through a flurry. A quick get it out.
It's true. And when I coach writers, I let them know that they need to take the English teacher who's yelling at them and on their shoulder and put her in a little box somewhere and shut that when they're writing their first draft, because you need to get into that state of flow where the words are just coming out and you're not editing as you write. Once you get all the words out, then you can pull that little English teacher back out, and she's very helpful, or he's very helpful, but in order to get the words out, you got to throw her.
Yeah, and I've even been told, just forget spell check. Just keep writing, keep writing. Yeah. And I tell people when I coach them on writing books, I say, you write the book once, and then you edit it multiple times.
Yes, very true.
So, well, tell me about the 7 Deadly Friendships, because I was reading in here that we can pretty much at any time, we have people around us that may be toxic. And how do we manage dealing with them? And being able to be aware of which personality trait they may have. So on page 12, I was looking at how you listed them. The 7 Deadly Friendships. One is haughty eyes, and that relates to our narcissistic friends.
Yes. And so I've named all of them to make it easier for those who read the book. So one of them is relating to that will be Narcissist Nolan. And I had to apologize at the beginning of the book because I was like, well, if your name is one of these, I'm sorry.
Right.
So we've got Narcissist Nolan, Unreliable Uma, Predator Paige, Con Man Connor, Tempter Trevor, Faker Fiona, and Dramatic Drake. And these are all related to the 7 deadly sins people have probably heard of before. It's hard to recognize who these people are. I've got a quiz on my website, 7deadlyfriendships.com, where people can actually, if they feel like they're in a toxic relationship, they can take that quiz and find out which one it is.
And, that's really important because I think out of all of these, you can kind of in the labeling identify them. But the narcissist, I think, is the most difficult to pinpoint.
I tend to be great at discerning. And the reason I wrote the book was I realized that much later, I wish I realized this when I was younger, but I was trying to complete an incomplete story. So having been raised by someone who is narcissistic and also someone who is predatory, I tended to chase after predatory narcissists or narcissistic predators in my relationships. And I was having this story. I want to complete this story.
Yeah, and you know what? We subconsciously are attracted to these people because they're familiar to us.
That's really wise that you said that. I think that's really true. And I was just kind of trying to make the story be, well, if I find someone that is like my family of origin and I can prove that I'm lovable by them, these random people that are narcissistic predators, then I can prove that I am actually worthy and lovable. And so once I realized that I had to deal with that empty story and complete it a different way, then I was a lot more discerning about who are those narcissistic people when it's all about them. And the problem is you keep chasing them and chasing them and chasing them. And since it's all about them, they're really not going to chase you back. They're not going to give you what you need emotionally and for your heart.
Yeah, and they are... tell me if you agree with this or not, but I think there's a little bit of evil in that personality trait. That just because they're all about them, but they will do some kind of psychological harm or emotional harm to you to bolster them still.
Exactly. I actually do agree with you. And, we've heard the statistics that, and I don't have it in front of me, but typically what I have been hearing is that physical abuse is very hard to recover from, but emotional abuse is harder because those kinds of things are tapes in your head that you keep playing over and over, those things spoken over you by someone who's narcissistic. It plays in your head over and over, and you keep believing them years and years after you've heard them.
Yeah, you start to own them erroneously, and you can't see the bruises from a narcissist.
Right, and they're usually enacted with a smile. So
exactly.
It's really hard to tell.
And I was just going to say, Mary, that they're very clever.
Yeah. And
they're 2 steps ahead, if not 10, because they want to keep you in your place and keep them elevated. Can you tell I've had a narcissistic relationship?
I can hear that in your voice a little bit.
Oh, brother. Okay, so then not to take the whole segment on just that, but I do want people, if they feel put down, controlled, emotionally unsafe, to read your book and make sure you can identify which one of these personality traits or whatnot are in your closest relationships or even in a work relationship.
Yeah, it's really helpful, and that's something that took me by surprise as well. I didn't realize that in one of my work relationships, I was engaged in one of those relationships, and the weird thing that happened was after it was over and after all the words were said, I got off the phone with that person and I started crying because it was painful what she said. But the other thing that I felt in the aftermath of it all was clarity and an extreme emotional release of joy. Like, oh my goodness, I'm out from underneath them, and I didn't even know I was in it until after it was over. And I think that's what a lot of us deal with. So I wrote the book because I wish that I could have figured it out before. And so now I'm kind of trying to use some of the wisdom I've gained from all my mistakes to help other people recognize it so they don't have to go through it like I did.
Yeah, and I also want to go back to what you just said, a huge sense of relief. Now, maybe someone cannot untie the communication or having to be near the person, but don't count on it. We'll be right back, Mary, but don't count on that. It's the relief in recognizing oh my gosh, this is what I'm dealing with. That's the relief, is the awareness. All right, we'll be right back on the Mary Goulet Show with more from Mary DeMuth.
Thank you. By listening, you help prove that content marketing works. You need to engage your customers. We provide the solution. Contact Wade at WSRadio.com or call 866-WS-RADIO.
If you heard that sound, you probably are eligible for insurance from Navy Mutual, insuring the men and women of the Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. Here's what one policyholder, retired Navy Commander Thomas Dade, had to say.
Navy Mutual is the best insurance decision I ever made. I wish you had a savings plan available that earned the rates my Navy Mutual insurance has been earning.
Navy Mutual Aid Association, started by military members in 1879, serves active, reserve, and retired military today. Navy Mutual honors our military by providing them affordable life insurance with the features they need without fine print, sales fees, or military service restrictions. Value, integrity, trust, and stability are the cornerstones on which our commitment to you and your loved ones are built. Call Navy Mutual at 1-800-628-6011 or NavyMutual.org for your personal life insurance plan consultation. 1-800-628-6011 or NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
I can't speak more highly about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me get my health back, get my energy back. And Dr. Agoli, when I first came to you guys, you found a thyroid problem, and I had no clue. But that's really common with a lot of your patients, right?
Underactive thyroid is the most misdiagnosed condition in the United States. According to the American Academy of Endocrinology, well over 25% of the population is not being diagnosed properly. It's because of the testing parameters. If you go to your traditional doctor, they could be missing a key component. If you have crushing fatigue, inappropriate weight gain, cold hands, cold feet, losing hair, lack of concentration, even headaches and migraines could be caused by underactive thyroid. At Progressive Medical, we get to the root cause of the problem because we are integrative, and integrative medicine is good medicine. We use a combination of medication, natural supplements, diet, nutrition, lifestyle modification, and that's what makes it so unique because we tailor it to your personal needs, and that's interesting because you are tailored.
Yes, and if you want to get your energy back, be the most vibrant version of yourself, you got to get to Progressive Medical Center. I'm so glad I went. Contact them today through ProgressiveMedicalCenter.com.